Whenever we meet someone new in our lives, we need to know as much as we can about him from the first moment. We need to understand him as a complex human being. Otherwise, A, we won't feel an emotional connection to him, therefore we won't anything, like either any connection to him, or we'll be afraid of him, or we'll try to do something bad to hurt him. Second of all, we say we need other people to understand the advancement of humanity. And that's an important part that you get from Yair, because the only way that you can really understand the advancement of humanity, the bad things and the good things that happened, and therefore that led to some kind of something that went on, and by that, only by that, you can understand who are human beings, what do they want, whether or not I can be part of them, or whether or not I can be friends with them. I'm going to summarize this debate by two clashes. First of all, do they, these aliens or whoever they are, understand things like us? Second clash, what are the messages that we want them to understand, whether simple or complex, and then whether negative or positive messages. Before that, 1 point of rebuttal for the first opposition. So we get that case from them that the fact that we need to choose the bad guys when we're telling the story to the aliens makes bad things inside the Earth, because if the USA will try to draw a picture of the good guys, the good things and the bad things, will probably portray Chinese people as bad people, and that is bad. So we have a couple of answers to that. First of all, there are a lot of concessions, in humanity, about what is objectively good and objectively bad. We also get that from second opposition. That means that everyone agrees that World War II was bad. Even the Germans agrees that the Germans that did World War II, they agree that this was bad. Most people agree about this idea, well, some of them, but furthermore we say it's not necessary to the motion that we will pick a side when we draw a picture to the aliens. What does that mean? We can still show just different fights. Different fights inside World War II, for an example. We can show a fight that the Americans did something bad, and we can show a fight that someone else did something bad. So this whole point is just, it doesn't fall to either side, therefore we don't understand how does it help the motion. Let's get inside the clashes. First of all, the first one, can they understand things like us? So Sela starts with this idea that, well, we can't know anything, we don't know who they are, we don't understand anything, and we can't decide what to show them because we can't know who they are. But right after that, he says that negative stuff would look negative to them, would create fear for them. So he analyzes the way they think, just like human beings think, but still says that we can't know how they understand things, and etc. Furthermore, also, second opposition agrees that there are objective good. That means that both benches of opposition agrees that we need to do this motion, thinking that these aliens think or understand concepts pretty much like human beings. But even if we still agree to what Sela said at the start, the only thing that derives from it is that we need a wider spectrum of crimes. That means that we need both the good and the bad, because we have no idea what's good and bad for them. Obviously, we're going to debate this motion as if they do understand something, otherwise the whole motion would be why giving more stuff is good. So let's get into the analysis of the second clash and the important one. So A, we get what's bad about the positive picture. So we get from first government the idea that they will find otherwise, and then they won't trust us anymore, or that it will give a message of weakness. But what Yair gives you is this idea that telling only good things is just not credible. It's never credible. Because whenever someone comes over to you and tells you different stories about himself, and all the stories are really good, and he was always the best at everything, and he always won everything, he never did anything bad in his life, you just don't believe it, you don't buy it. You know that everyone experienced some kind of failures in their life, you understand that no one is perfect, so whenever someone is trying to give you just a positive message, you obviously can't trust him as much. So already now we understand, because all sides agree that we want to gain trust, that we will gain a lot better trust if we will deliver a complex decision. Now, Yarden tells us this idea that we need a simple message, because otherwise it will because otherwise they won't understand, like, they'll be afraid of us, or they'll get confused and then afraid and then be aggressive. So first of all, for the simple message, we don't think that, what we think is that it makes you, look weak. Like the animal example by Yarden works for our side. Why? Because whenever the cows gave this simple message all along, and then human beings came and saw this simple message, they didn't fear of cows, or they didn't work with them, they just tried to eat them. They tried to win them over because it's really simple and they don't have mean a threat to us. We think that simple messages and simple ideas will just make us look weak. Second of all, it makes us look uninteresting. But third of all, and most important, we don't understand why a positive message is necessarily a simple message. Like, by their own logic, that means we can just deliver bad messages. So this whole point is pretty much doesn't really prove their burden in this debate. Yes?
So, yeah. Our analysis relies on aliens being able to recognize what dismembered or dead bodies are. Pretty simple. Your analysis relies on recognizing what the UN and the Nuremberg trials are. How the hell do you communicate
Thank you. No, I don't think. Also, your analysis assumes that they get certain feelings from certain pictures. If you assume this idea and the feelings that you assume are human feelings, then obviously they perceive the reality just like human beings perceive reality. Talk about the complex picture. So, an important part. How can we deliver the complex message? And this is an important part, because if I prove you that and we buy Yair's analysis about why it's the message, then you win this debate. So you obviously can show certain pictures, you can show certain music, we all agree on that. We believe that you can just show a slideshow that shows different pictures, like bad pictures with bad music, just like you do in any movie theater. Whenever you show a really important moment, you show it in a really amusing music, and then when it's a bad moment, it's bad music, and therefore by that you can make people understand complex ideas. What have we given you in this debate? We need to give complex ideas that will create credibility, that will make us be a lot better with the aliens. Therefore, beg you to propose.